Welcome everybody. This is the Day Trading Options Daily Review for January 12th, 2016. We've missed a few weeks. I've been traveling throughout Central America, and Alan has been down in Mexico, plus doing some wonderful coding on some improvements, if you can believe that we could possibly improve on what we're doing already with Waves of Profit software. He's working on some improvements, and maybe in a couple weeks we'll share with you what those are. But for now, we're keeping it under wraps because we want to get it done right, and then we want to show it to you, and we know you're going to be very, very excited. So I'm Scott, he's Alan. Alan, what happened on January 12th? Were we able to make 10% in 10 minutes?
Yep, you definitely can. And what we're going to do is we're going to, because sometimes we mix it up with what you could have bought before 9:45. I generally don't like buying anything before 9:36. These times are all because of people's emotions in the markets, and how things are going, and we're not trying to fight any of that. So we're going to look at one here that's for 10:05, and I want to always give you guys as much as I can on it without overwhelming people. This is not full training, but you get little bits of it here and there, so you get to see the kind of stuff we talk about. So right here was the beginning of the trade, and it was like a good signal. The market was good. Everything was looking nice. The volume was a little bit low, but it was still looking like a pretty good trade. We had a run up in the morning. That's what that is. And then it starts looking like it wants to run down. You get that on quite often, because that's what the market does, is it does what it wants to do, and we just ride along. So here, I didn't like the trade at this stage. I'm not going to get into all the details, but I didn't like it so much here, even though it generally fit the rules. You see this low, or didn't beat this low, so it was like, I don't know. I want to see a little more results out of you. So I waited, and so at this point, this low beats that low, and so that became a good trade at that point. So here we are. I hit the buy button. That's what you can see right there with that. And yes, there's already a 1% loss. That's normal. We include in there commission and spread, so you have an idea that this is close to reality. This replay is meant to be a stepping stone, because if you try to just jump into the live market, which is what most day traders do because they don't have a full simulator. This is the only full simulator you get on the planet. We built it because we needed it for our own purposes, and then we shared it with other people. If you just jump out into the real market with money or a simulated account and try to figure it out, it's too hard. And with all things in life, there's usually some improvements. And so here we are. We've got a replay. So here we go. 1 minute, 2 minute. It's going our way. We're happy. We're not feeling nervous. 3, 4, 5. So there it is. That's 14%. That's enough profit for me. And I always just try to get out at that unless it looks like a great trade and it's running. And this is not looking like a great trade. And we'll talk about that in another episode. Let's go to the next trade. And this one is IBB. Now, I was in Sudan visiting my honey's family when this trade came on. What's nice about Sudan is they're, I think, about 8 hours ahead of the market. So it's about 2 in the afternoon or later. Oh, it's around dinner time, and then you can do your trading. And you're only going to trade for an hour or two if you want to trade the morning session. So it was really easy. So yes, I did get into this. I really liked it. And here we go. 1 minute, and you can see the setup is there. But the market was I thought pretty strong, and this thing already showed. So what's inside his brain? Well, the top was here, and at this point, it looks like people already don't like the stock enough that there's some selling pressure. The volume on this one was bigger than the other stock we looked at, so I like this a little better. I didn't need to wait for confirmation because the market was telling me, yeah, this one's looking good. So yeah, you do learn a feel for it, just like you do for everything else. How to tie your shoelaces, button a shirt, or drive a car. Everything has a bit of a learning curve to it. This is not that much more than those things. So anyways, 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, and I didn't get out on the flutter because it didn't break the mag line. It was getting close to my, ooh, I don't like it. And yeah, the market's turning a bit green. So I've got my hand ready to sell at a loss, a small loss. But it doesn't happen. So now I'm getting ready to get out at break even unless the market, oh, it's turning red. And this is where I'm thinking, should I just get out at break even or should I hang around for the profit that I originally hoped for? So 1 more minute, it's looking good. I'm still ready to sell. It's still fluttering. I'm seriously thinking of selling, get out at break even because it showed to be a bad trade. But I just felt that the market was still kind of red. There was still reasonable, not hope and greed and all that, but just this had a good probability to run a little deeper. And so it's still fighting it. And this is often where I'm thinking, I'm just going to get out. And then it was like, oh, it's running my way. Oh, it's running my way really nicely. I might get my 10%. And so there it is. There's my 10%. Guess what I do? Boom, I'm out. And of course, there's always somebody that says, well, you can make more. The people that, and I've recently coached a couple people about this specific thing. The people that try to make more are doing it with usually smaller accounts, and it's unwarranted, and they usually destroy or really damage their account because they're trying to make the big home run on these little accounts. It doesn't work that way, and you'll discover it yourself. That we'll teach you everything. Is you can't make a $5,000 account give you $5,000 a month. It's just not going to happen. It's not reasonable. Even in this high-speed thing, it's risky. It's like driving at 60 miles an hour in downtown. It's just not going to happen. However, if you have a $50,000 account, you can easily get 5 out of it, easily. And the point is that if you just keep adding it back to your account, it grows and grows and grows. So getting greedy generally doesn't work. For a couple people it does, but for most people it doesn't work. So please don't do that. You can test it here, but I want you to know that, yeah, some of these trades go longer, but it's experience that'll tell you which ones are the better ones and which ones are not. So
Alan, I just want to jump in on that point because I think that's really important. And for, the odd story that we tell about somebody who got in on Friday at 3:45, hung on, all sold Monday at 9:31 and made $45,000, which we have the video of that in our Facebook group. There's a lot more people that get in at 3:45 and lose their shirt at 9:30 on Monday morning. So, don't take these great stories of success as what's normal. What's normal is make your 10% every day. And if you make, and just figure it out, if you can make 10% and not be greedy 4 days a week, how many months does it take to turn $5,000 or $10,000 into $50,000 or $100,000? You'd be shocked where you would be 6 months from now. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that you really have to be aware of. And when you do stuff that's, well, I'm going to be greedy, maybe it worked on Monday and maybe you lost a ton of money on Tuesday. And that's because you're not going for the nice, safe base hit. And as you go for those, to use the baseball analogy, and when you get up to bat and you hit those base hits, you get on base. Then you get to second base, third base, you get home, yay, well done. And sooner or later, the pitcher gives you the perfect pitch. And because you've been getting on base, because you've been going around the bases and you've been playing the game, when that pitch comes and you crank it and you've got your grand slam home run. But you when those come, and then you do something different, right? And I think that oftentimes we try to make every pitch the home run. And that's not what we're about. We're not about being Babe Ruth, who had the most home runs in history sort of thing, but he also had the most strikeouts. We're all about getting on base, getting to the next base, and coming home safe and protecting your money. And what Alan has been talking about right now is a really, really, really important part of this process. And we've been talking to a lot of our students who are having problems, and it's because they're going for this this mythical home run. And no, 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 no. The tortoise won the race.
Yeah, the home runs happen, and that's the problem. But they happen so rarely that people's greed goes, "Oh, today's my day." It's like, no, there's only maybe 1 out of 10 of those that are home runs, and you don't know which ones they are until you get good at it. And your account has to survive by just pile up the profits, take the little profits, get paid, get paid, get paid. And piling up the little profits is, it works, and it's no stress. It's actually quite a wonderful thing. So
Yeah. And I think you can look at it in terms of business, right? Like if you're the manager of a store or something, you get a bonus at the end of the year.
Yes.
So paid every week or every 2 weeks or every month, and that's what we want you to do. And then every so often the boss says, you know what, you did a good job, Alan, here's a bonus. And
Absolutely.
then you get that bonus. And that's the way you need to look at this point in most people's development.
Absolutely, it's 100%. And what most people do that learn that, they move on, they buy more contracts, like my friend from high school. I mean, he buys 90 contracts. And so, yeah, he'll make $16,000 in a day. And you go, you can't do that. And he says, well, listen, if you're buying 9 contracts and you're making 1,600, or you buy 1 contract and you make 160, it's the same stuff. It's just that he built his account up. No mystery, but he did it right. And yeah, he did it wrong a bunch of times too. We're all stubborn until we're smart enough to listen to, oh, that's how it works. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the next trade and just keep it kind of short for today. So here we are. Why did I like it? Well, it's the same old stuff. I have 2 kinds of tint. I've got this tint right here, and yeah, you can change the colors. And then there's this background tint for the whole trend is going this way. And guess what? Market's going our way, so we liked it. So
and you're out of no man's land.
Out of no man's land. Yes, good point. Yeah, that's one of the key points. So if you have those things going for you, yeah, the volume's a little low. Here you can see that that's the excessive volume, and here we don't really know how much volume. I turned that off, but it's not great. But the market's pretty strong right now, and so we're going to go ride that one, and let's see what happens here. And so here's 1 minute, 2, 3. It's still hugging along the bottom. This is still looking fairly good. 4, yeah, it's come back a little bit. 5, still in my territory. 6, might need to get out. 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Now this is after, it's getting close to 11. So after 10:30, the market starts to slow down a fair bit. You're not going to get 10% in 10 minutes as often as you would in this time period. That's how it is. So here we're going to keep going a few more minutes. I'm just going to move forward a little bit quickly. You can see it's taking a little longer, and we're going to do a summary here. So it's pulling back, but it's not badly against us. It's still kind of hanging around. This is normal for this time of day. Because in this time of day, if it's going sideways like that, I get out. Because it's like, oh, that's probably changing directions, or I don't know where it's going. Whereas here, the market's still red, still likes the red side, the bear side. So it's going sideways isn't a problem. Going sideways, going sideways. It's inching its way down. And now it's starting to show a little bit of profit in the sense that we covered our commish, and we might be going our way. And so now we're getting the tint again, like the 2 kinds of tint. It's market's still strong, but you see it's at 5%. I'm just going to move until we get to the 10%. There's 12%. I'm out. These trades, and we like to show you a variety from time to time because we've got a fair number of viewers here on YouTube. They take longer than like this one here. Like if you try this out on you get a free replay trial for a month. You can see that this one is shorter for this height from here to here. Let's just call it, and this height from here to here, it's about the same as that. but this took 1, 2, 3 candles to get there, whereas this was like 10 candles to get there. That's just normal behavior with normal markets, and you get a lot of activity in the first bit. So here's the review. So the summary is EPT was the first one he looked at, ETP, and it took us 5 minutes, 14%. IBB took us 16 minutes to get 10%, and this one took 40 minutes or 50 minutes to get to the 12%. As you can see, as the day gets longer into lunch and all that sort of thing, there's not as much energy in the market, and so it takes longer to get our profit on average. There's always exceptions, but we want you to know what, hey, this is what you can expect. And that's it for this day.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate that. Appreciating you sharing everything. And we're all about showing you can make 10% in 10 minutes. We've got 3 courses that introduce you to options, and then the second one shows you how to use the software and shows you the strategy, and the third one shows you a more advanced strategy for those of us that want to keep, you know, getting doing things differently, I guess would be the way to put it. But they're all based on the same basic foundation, which Alan has kind of showed you a little bit of that. We haven't got into it in great detail because this is not a training video. This is a video to show you that it's possible to make 10% on your investment in 10 minutes, thereabouts, or less. And then we've got a number of other courses, because the biggest problem with the traders that we see is they understand the tool, they understand the market, they understand how the strategies work, they understand everything, and yet they sabotage themselves. So getting the mindset of a successful trader is of paramount importance. How to release some of the stress and the tension that may cause you to make poor decisions is a big part of the process of being a successful trader. So in the descriptions below, we've got links to all those courses for you. You can take them at a huge discount, because we want to get you into a position where you're making money, and that's really what we want to be doing. We'll give you all the training that we can, and then it's up to you to actually implement it and become successful, and that's really what we're looking for out of doing this for you. So there you go. Thank you very much. This has been the Waves of Profits daily trading options review for January 12th, 2016, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.